Okay, good evening.
Good evening, teacher.
Okay, welcome to a new class. Today it's been a rainy day. Well, today and yesterday, and I think that it's been like that the last 3 or 4 days. And that's the reason that many people get the flu, because some days it gets really hot, and the next day it gets really cold. And these rainy days, and it gets really cold, well, that's easy to get a flu or a cold. Well, I hope that everything is okay for all of you. And well, let's start our lesson. It is 6 p.m. In the meantime, there will be more students arriving at the class. Well, as usually, the first activity that we are going to do is this online game to practice, to activate that prior knowledge. Remember that these modal verbs, well, I think that you watched them when you were in high school, but remember that the video is on the classroom, so you can watch it as many times as you want. And the idea, of course, read the material again if necessary. And the idea is to practice, okay? So let's play this. Modal verbs. Oh, well, yeah, sure, okay. Yes, it says drag and drop each keyword next to its definition. So remember that we have these modal verbs to indicate some specific actions.
Teacher,
Yeah.
sorry, but estoy teniendo mala conexión en internet. Si en algún momento me salgo o no tengo información, es por eso. No tenía buena conexión en internet.
Okay. Remember that this lesson is being recorded. So if you have any technical problem, you can watch it later. You know, it happens the same to me. Connectivity, it's been kind of unstable today, but well, let's do it, today we are not going to have any evaluation, so let's practice, okay? Well, as I was telling you, modal verbs indicate some specific things, it depends on the context. Sometimes it can be confusing because of what we are used to do in our mother tongue in Spanish. But once you get used to this in English, it will be easy for you to recognize them. Remember that, for example, we use can to express general abilities, ask for permission, or maybe to talk about possibility or possible things. We use should, well, I think that is one of the easy ones, should, to give advice or suggestions, like you shouldn't smoke anymore, something like that. We use must, M-U-S-T, must, to express obligation, necessity, and even strong recommendation. And may and might, they express, let's say, almost the same, So they express possibility, as we have with the modal verb can, and also they work to give permission. And it happens both in the formal and informal English. But well, let's practice. Let's practice with this. So, Isabella Aguirre. Good evening, Isabella.
Good evening, teacher.
So, Isabella, by reading these sentences, which do you think could be, I don't know, might, must, could, have to, can, should, or may. Well, I'm gonna give you 1 minute, okay? All of you, read this 1 minute, and then I will ask you to complete this exercise. Okay, so Isabella, what about, I don't know, do you want to do any of the sentences? Or do you want to do the first one, number 2, number 3, whatever you feel free?
And number 3.
Okay, and what do you think could be the correct modal verb for that one?
Can.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, let's see. Can I watch TV? Can I watch TV? Okay, well, thank you, Isabella. We will check that later. Giancarlo Pasui, good evening.
Good evening, teacher. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Kind of sick, but you know, well, that's the fashion today. That's what we have to do today. Well, what do you think? Do you want to do a specific sentence, or you have no problem with the first one?
Teacher, the first one is, I think, is must.
Okay, good. They must go to class. Thank you. Juan Camilo Urriago, good evening.
Good evening, teacher.
Okay, Mr. Urriago, which one do you want to do?
I have to learn the tables.
Okay, good. I have to learn the tables. Well, you know, this is kind of bad translation, but it's okay. Yeah.
Tablas de multiplicar.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Well, this is not an exercise of mine. I found it. It's pretty difficult to make some activities in this website because they only give you 3 or 4 free activities, and the rest, well, you have to pay. I'm not going to pay for that, but it's okay. We're trying. Okay, so Juan David Mosquera, what about you? Good evening.
Good evening, teacher.
So, Juan David.
This mic.
What? This? What sentence? Ah, this one. Or what?
For sentence. For sentence.
Oh,
Might.
number 4. I might have won the medal. Okay, okay, let's see. Thank you. Melissa, good evening. Well, you are... Melissa, what's your last name? Because you will say, hey, teacher, there are 2 Melissas or something like that. What is your last name? Melissa Gomez? No.
Garces.
Sorry?
No, Garces.
Garces.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna write it right now to make no mistakes. Okay, so Melissa Garces, what do you think?
You shall change your house.
You should change your house. Okay, okay, well, good. We are going to check, you know, if that is correct or not. Thank you, Melissa. Michelle Noguera, what about you? What do you think? Good evening.
Good evening, teacher. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7th. I think the could.
Okay, could. He could wash and cook at the same time. Okay,
Yes.
okay. And finally, I think that probably this could be I may work more often. Well, you know, that's the thing about the modal verbs, since they have so many differences. For example, we have here must. It means obligation, necessity, or strong recommendation. We say they must go to class. That's probably an obligation. Okay. Then we have this. I have to learn the tables. Have is a strong recommendation. It's an obligation, and it is even harder than the use of must or even might. Okay, have to is a strong obligation. You have to do that. You have no more options. Probably this could be the one. Good. Then we have can. Can expresses general ability. This is not an ability, but then it says ask for permission. Okay, probably in this sentence, this person is asking for permission to do what? To watch television. Then we have might. Might expresses possibility or it gives permission. I might have won the medal. Okay, probably. Yo podría haber ganado esa medalla. Well, probably it expresses possibility. That was a possibility. Let's see. This, you should change your house. Should expresses advice or suggestion. Okay, well, then we have he could wash and cook at the same time. Well, could is like asking for permission or expressing a possibility or ability in the past. I am not pretty sure about this, but it's okay. We are practicing. And finally, we have may that expresses to possibility and or something that you are giving permission. Remember, we can make mistakes at this point, so don't worry if probably these answers, most of them, or maybe all of them are wrong, because the idea is that through that material, we will get to know or identify their uses. Okay, can you see this? Oh, what's going on? Oh, come on. They disappeared. But if you see, maybe many sentences could have like a different meaning. So those that could be probably an obligation in a sentence of this exercise could be just a possibility. Well, okay, good. So could you please remind me what we saw last week? Those activities that we did, we read, we listened to. What did we do last week?
Fue la de objetivos comparativos. Bueno, de decir, es el más.
Okay.
¿Cómo te explico?
Well, yeah, last Tuesday, we learned the comparative and superlative adjectives. Good, yeah. Comparative is like to compare two things, and superlatives to compare more than two things. Good. And Laker says in the chat that we learned about the modal verbs. Okay, well, that's what we did last week. Yeah, and we also identified general and specific information in a recording. Remember that we worked on a study material number 7. We listened to a person who was selling a house and a flat, and you had to identify different items about these two buildings. Okay, well, good. So, oh, okay. Well, oh, come on. Oh, my goodness, my crazy computer. Well, this is what we have in here. Oh, but, well, yeah, okay. Before we do this, I think that it could be nice to see this. Study material 7, singular and plural. Do you remember what is the meaning of there is and there are? Do you remember that?
Yes, teacher. In Spanish is hay.
Good. That is I, the verb haber in Spanish. So you say, in Spanish, we don't have that problem. We say, hay un estudiante en la clase. But you can also say, hay 1000 estudiantes en el colegio. So we have that I in Spanish that is singular. We don't say ein. But sometimes we can say that like había un estudiante en el salón, había muchos estudiantes en el salón. In that case is singular too. Hubo un estudiante en mi clase anoche, hubo 100 estudiantes en la clase anoche. In that case is singular too. Si usted dice hubieron, es un error, ¿ok? Es un error. Ah, ¿que le van a entender? Claro que le van a entender. La gente a usted le dice haiga, usted entiende, pero no quiere decir que esté bien dicho. So, you cannot say hubieron, ¿ok? But you can say habría. Yeah, sure, that's no problem. Sometimes, most of the times in Spanish, we should use el verbo haber in a singular way, you know, its singular form. But there are very specific cases where you can use the plural form, but most of the times it is singular. And that's why sometimes we have that problem when we are learning this in English, because we tend to bring that or to connect that knowledge that we have in Spanish to what we are learning in English. Well, that's normal, you know, no problem with that. So we have there is I, that's singular. There is a student. There is an apple, that's singular. But if you want to say plural form, there are some students in the class tonight, or there are some oranges on the table, well, that's perfectly plural. That's why, well, we are going to watch this video later in a couple of, maybe 20 minutes. But in the meantime, let's do this activity just to activate your knowledge. This is what we are going to do. On your screens, there will be 2 sentences or some words, because, well, this is not a sentence. This is more like words, isolated words. We have, like this example, the alphabet. You say, okay, yes, teacher, the alphabet what? And then you have 26 letters. You have to make a sentence using there is or there are, okay? So the objective of this very easy and basic exercise is that you activate your prior knowledge of this topic and you are able to make new sentences. For example, we can have, there are 26 letters in the alphabet. Okay, so this is an example of what you have to do. I'm gonna give you only seconds, 1 or 2 seconds. I'm gonna call some of you, and you have to give me a sentence immediately by using there is, there are. But it has to be a logical sentence, okay? Because you cannot say, teacher, I can say there is one alphabet in the 26 letters. No, no, that would not be logic, okay? So you have to be logical. Is more logical to say there are 26 letters in the alphabet because the alphabet is the macro thing, you know. Okay, well, I hope that you understood. I don't remember if I already called. Well, no, don't worry. But I have two Isabelas Aguirre. Is that the same student, Isabela Aguirre?
Yes, teacher.
Oh, you like to participate. Oh, well, double participation. I love that. It's like you say, I want to participate in the class, so I'm going to connect.
No, teacher.
Oh, no.
It's because I had two devices.
Devices. Oh, really?
Mhm.
One for speaking and another one to watch the video lesson.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, okay, well, no problem. You know, I was thinking that you were like so happy and so enthusiastic to participate in the class that you say, okay, I want to make double participation. Well, good. So, Santiago Cortez, good evening, Santiago.
Good evening, teacher.
So, Santiago, you already saw the example. You have to make a new sentence. Well, not a new sentence. You have to make a complete sentence by using there is or there are, depending on the context. Are you ready?
Okay.
Good.
Okay. There are 9 planets in the solar system.
Good. There are 9 planets in the solar system. Continue, Mr. Cortez.
There are 11 players in the football team.
Good. In a football team. Excellent. That seems to be very easy. Continue, Mr. Cortez.
There are 30 states in the United States.
Good. Excellent. There are 50 states in the United States. Thank you, Mr. Cortez. Michelle Noguera, are you ready?
Yes, teacher.
Okay.
For planets, maybe. There are 9 planets in the solar system.
No, but Michelle, that is not the sentence. Is this one, Michelle? Michelle, you have to pay attention.
This? Okay. There are 27 countries in the European Union.
Good. There are 27 countries in the European Union. Continue, Michelle.
There are 3 colors in the Italian flag.
Good.
There are 20 months in a year.
20.
I don't know.
How? Oh my goodness. Don't you remember how to say 12 in English?
20, I don't know.
No, 20 is 20, 20.
Okay.
So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
12.
11 and 12. Good. Excellent. Thank you, Michelle. Well, let's see now. Melissa Garces. So, Melissa, are you ready?
Yes.
So, Melissa.
There is 7 days in a week.
But there is singular and 7 days is plural. So what would be the correct use?
Sorry, there are 7
Yeah.
days in a week.
Good. There are 7 days in a week. And what about this?
There are 4 seasons in a year.
Good. There are 4 seasons in a year. Well, that is those seasons in the United States, not in Colombia. In Colombia, we have 2 seasons. What about this?
There is 4 nations in the United Kingdom.
There is. There is singular. But 4
Sorry,
nations.
there are. I was
Okay.
confused. Sorry.
No problem, no problem. That's the idea, to practice and to be aware of those mistakes. Yeah. If we have a number that is more than 1, it is plural. Okay, thank you, Melissa. Laker Lisandro, good evening.
Good evening, teacher.
So are you ready, Laker?
Yes.
Okay.
There are 20 teams in the Italy football language.
League. There are 20 teams in the Italian Football League. Okay, good. What about this?
Sorry. There are 5 players in the. There are five players. In the basketball team.
Good. In a basketball team. Okay.
There are 6 strings in the guitar.
Good. There are 6 strings in a guitar. Thank you. Well, yeah, it seems to me very easy for you. Juan David Mosquera, are you ready?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, Juan David.
There are 1,000 meters in a kilometer.
Okay, good. Yeah. Well, you say 1,000. Okay, so is that plural or singular? But, well, we have meters that give us the specific mark, okay? What about this?
There are 5 rings in the Olympic flag.
Good.
There are 5, oh my God,
Vowels
in the alphabet.
Good. There are 5 vowels in the alphabet. Thank you. Well, now, boys and girls, this is what we are going to do. We continue practicing, you know. Well, as you can see, this is Sally's living room. Okay, this is a picture of Sally's living room. Sally is whatever person, okay? We don't care who is Sally. You have to ask and answer questions using the prompts below. So, like in this example, okay? So, in this example, we have a question. Are there any pictures on the wall? Recuerden que siempre que preguntamos en inglés, el auxiliar debe ir primero, siempre. Por ejemplo, si preguntamos, déjenme yo lo escribo acá, si preguntamos en el presente simple, por ejemplo, do you like ice cream? Miren que ese do no traduce nada, pero nos indica que hay una pregunta en presente simple o hay una oración en presente simple. Si yo les pregunto, did you do, I don't know, homework? Miren que ese did no traduce nada, pero nos indica que hay una pregunta en pasado simple. Y si yo dijera, por ejemplo, will you go to the party? Este will no traduce nada. Simplemente nos indica que hay una oración en futuro, una pregunta. El auxiliar siempre va a ir primero. Lo mismo vamos a encontrar con este ejemplo, este ejercicio que dice, ¿Are there any pictures on the wall? La gramática nos dice que vamos a preguntar con are o con is, dependiendo si lo que estamos, el objeto o el sustantivo es plural o singular. Por ejemplo, aquí dice are there. ¿Por qué pusimos are there, profe? Porque pictures está en plural. ¿Quién era ese? Ponemos any porque la gramática nos dice que debe ir any siempre que preguntamos por una cantidad. Recuerden que cuando usted dice hay del verbo haber indica cantidad. Are there any pictures? Pero en el español lo manejaríamos como hay cuadros en la pared. Hay cuadros. Podríamos decir, en vez de poner any, yo podría decir, are there 2 pictures on the wall? Entonces, el any siempre hay que ponerlo para la pregunta. Casi nunca se ve, pero la gramática dice que sí. Incluso utilizando cualquier tiempo verbal. Si yo utilizara el is there, por ejemplo, si yo quisiera decir, is there a television on the wall? Or is there a television on the sofa? Entonces, como en este caso estoy diciendo television y es una, miren el artículo indefinido a, que traduce uno o una, entonces utilizo is there. También, si quisiera, podría decir, is there any TV on the sofa? So I'm going to give you, bueno, miren, sorry about this. And then look at the answer. Are there any pictures on the wall? I put this like maybe here. Well, whatever. Are there any pictures on the wall? And you say, okay, well, we have 1, 2. I am not sure if this is a picture, but well, at least there are 1 and 2. So it says, yes, there are. Respuesta corta, pero luego completa. There are some pictures on the wall. I'm going to give you, let's say 10 minutes, okay? 10 minutes for you to do all of this. Bueno, la primera ya la hicimos, okay? So you have to complete questions and answers, okay? Questions and answers. I'm gonna give you 10 minutes and then when I will ask some of you.
Teacher,
Hello, hello, yeah. Sorry.
yes, I have a question.
Sure.
Any of the questions can use there are or there is? Any?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. If you are using singular or plural, you can use any, or if you want to use a number, you can use it too. Even if you don't want to use any, no problem. But well, grammar says that we should use it.
Can you repeat me that, please?
Yes, if you want to use numbers, you can use them. For example, you can say, are there two plants? But you can also say, are there any plants? Or you can say, is there one plant? It depends on what you want to ask.
Profe, una pregunta.
Yeah.
Para usar el any, hay que usarlo en plural.
Oh, well, we can use that in singular too, but well, I recommend to use it only in plural.
Ok, gracias.
So well, regarding your question, we use some and any before a plural or uncountable noun. Okay, so as you ask, we should use any when we have plural sentences. Okay, as we have in this example in here, and well, we also use any in negative sentence, but in this case, that is a question, so we can use any in plural or uncountable nouns. Okay, well, now I am going to divide the class in small groups. I'm going to give you 5 minutes and you are going to share, compare your questions and your answers. So remember, please participate. Okay, Melissa and Santiago, please join your groups. Okay, so boys and girls, let's see. Okay. So, Juan Camilo Urriago. Juan Camilo, please read the question and the answer that you wrote for this.
Okay, teacher. Are there any plants in the living room? Yes, there are. There are 3 plants in the living room.
Ah, okay, good. Well, yeah, you did number 3. Okay, well, yeah. Are there any plants in the? Oh, well, but it said sofa. Oh, well, are there any plants in the sofa? Well, I don't
Oh,
see.
sorry, teacher.
I
I
don't see.
misunderstanding the exercise.
Ah, you misunderstood, but it's okay. It's okay. The sentence that you wrote is grammatically, it's okay. Okay, that's good grammar. That was excellent sentence. Good. Yeah. Are there any
Teacher,
plants in the living room? Yes, there are. Yeah.
I wrote one sentence about this point.
Okay.
Is, are there any plants around the sofa?
Okay. Good.
Yes, there are 2 plants around the sofa.
Okay. Good. Yes. We also use the preposition around. Good. Are there any plants around the sofa? Yes, there are. Check that there is a period. You say there are some plants around the sofa. Good. Well, anyone who wants to participate with a different sentence? 4, 5, 6, 7.
Me, teacher.
Okay.
The 4.
Number 4.
Is there a mirror above the fireplace?
Okay.
Just the answer, yes, there is a mirror above the fireplace.
Okay, above. Good. Yeah, maybe you say this. Is there a mirror above? Something like this. Yeah. Is there a mirror above? Is that the word, the preposition that you were using?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, good. Is there a mirror? You say yes, there is. Punto. Miren que aquí hay un punto. Y luego, ahí sí, inicia una nueva oración. There is a mirror above the sofa. The what? The fireplace. Sorry. Fireplace. Good. We could also have said, is there a fireplace under the mirror? Yes, there is. There is a fireplace under the mirror. Okay, good. They are okay. Anyone else who wants to participate with a sentence? Okay.
Yes, teacher. The question 2. Is there an armchair near the fireplace? Yes, there is. There is an armchair near the fireplace.
Excellent. Near. Well, good proposition. Is there an armchair near the fireplace? Good. And remember that when we use a or an, you know, like this, and for example, we say an apple, we have to join, okay? An apple, an armchair, okay? Good. Anyone else who wants to participate?
Your teacher
Okay.
says something. Is there a table in front of sofa?
Yes, good.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is a table in front of sofa.
Good. Excellent. Is there a table in front of the sofa? Yes, there is. There is a table in front of the sofa. You need the article there. Excellent. Well, good for all of you. Let's continue because this is the kind of exercise that we need to do this helping hand activity. Well, now that we have talked about there is and there are, we will continue, you know, talking about or learning or improving our skills, but not only with grammar, but also our listening skills. This material, yeah, sure. It's here. You go to the classwork tab, you go to the workshops, and you will find it there when it says listening modal verbs. We are going to have, let's say, like 2 or 3 listening exercises. This is not an evaluation. We are just practicing. And the thing is that in the first exercise, that is a helping hand, yeah, a helping hand, it could be translated as the same way it sounds in Spanish, you know, that is like somebody is offering you some help, or like you need something and somebody offers you that you need. Well, a helping hand. It says like this. Listen to Jake and Carol talking about Jake's brother George. Complete these sentences from the recording. All of the sentences contain modal verbs. So, what you have to complete here in these blanks is only modal verbs. It could be can, should, must, may, might, have. Well, so we are going to listen to this conversation and you have to complete. I'm going to give you, please, 1 minute to open the file because you should have it at hand. So go to the Google Classroom and find this conversation, find this material, listening modal verbs, okay? Yeah. So please get the material and be ready.
Jake, I want to talk to you about George.
What? Are you ready? Hello, guys. Are you ready?
Yes.
Do you have the material now? Okay.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, good. So let's listen. Remember, focus on vocabulary. What vocabulary, teacher? Modal verbs. And pay attention. Try to focus on that. Too much concentration. You need concentration because this listening is kind of difficult. And good luck.
What did he do now?
Jake, I want to talk to you about George.
What did he do now?
I'm worried about him. We must do something. He's been depressed for months.
Oh, you know George. He's changeable like the weather. He could be laughing next week.
Jake is your brother, and you should be worried about him. Aren't you?
Yes, I am. But you know how independent he is. We can't help him if he doesn't want it, can we?
Well, I feel guilty. He is family after all. We mustn't ignore problems in the family or they will just get bigger. I know that from my own family.
Do you want me to encourage him to see a therapist?
No, you don't have to do that. But he should talk about things with other people that he knows.
Yes, he should. He keeps things inside too much.
Exactly. Just talking will help him so much.
He's very unhappy about all the divorce stuff.
Of course. You know, if you take George out, he might meet somebody.
You think?
Well, he can't meet anybody new in his terrible apartment, can he? Watching baseball 24 hours a day.
Basketball.
Please, Jake. I hate to see George like that. Do something next week. You must get him out of that apartment. Get him doing something new. George should try and forget his ex-wife and remember he's still a young man.
I'll do it. I hope my family helps me like this if I get depressed.
You're married to me. You don't get depressed.
Okay, so let's listen again. This time, I recommend you to check those modal verbs that you already identified and try to complete those who you couldn't identify, or maybe you just didn't pay attention because, well, the conversation's kind of fast. This is not like the script of that conversation, okay? So these are some isolated sentences, but you are expected to follow the conversation, the dialogue, and understand where they are in the dialogue, okay? So let's listen again.
Jake, I want to talk to you about George.
What did he do now?
I'm worried about him. We must do something. He's been depressed for months.
Oh, you know George. He's changeable like the weather. He could be laughing next week.
Jake, he's your brother, and you should be worried about him. Aren't you?
Yes, I am. But you know how independent he is. We can't help him if he doesn't want it, can we?
Well, I feel guilty. He is family after all. We mustn't ignore problems in the family or they will just get bigger. I know that from my own family.
Do you want me to encourage him to see a therapist?
No, you don't have to do that. But he should talk about things with other people that he knows.
Yes, he should. He keeps things inside too much.
Exactly. Just talking will help him so much.
He's very unhappy about all the divorce stuff.
Of course. You know, if you take George out, he might meet somebody.
You think?
Well, he can't meet anybody new in his terrible apartment, can he? Watching baseball 24 hours a day.
Basketball.
Please, Jake. I hate to see George like that. Do something next week. You must get him out of that apartment. Get him doing something new. George should try and forget his ex-wife and remember he's still a young man.
I'll do it. I hope my family helps me like this if I get depressed.
You're married to me. You don't get depressed.
Well, I love that part when she says, you are married to me, you don't get depressed. Oh my goodness. It's not like she is supporting him. It's just like when you are married, you cannot get depressed. I don't know the reason. Well, probably those would be even bigger problems. Well, so did you get the, let me see, let's take turns. Isabella Aguirre, did you get number 1? Isabella Aguirre, did you get number 1?
Teacher, hi.
Yeah.
You hear me? Yes, teacher. The first is must.
Good, must. She says, we must do something. That must, let me, that must, where can I put this? Somewhere in my screen. that must means like necessity, okay? Carol says, I'm worried about him. George is kind of troubled. They don't know why, but they have a, suspect. So when she says, we must do something, it means that it is necessity or maybe a strong recommendation, okay? Good. Giancarlo Pasoy, what about the second?
Yes, teacher. The second is could.
Good, could, yeah. Well, he could be laughing next week. Well, in that case, it expresses like a possibility, Today, my brother is sad, but next week he could be laughing. So it is like a possibility. Okay. Juan Camilo Urriago, number 3. Juan Camilo Urriago, did you get number 3? Okay, well, the third is should, okay? Jake, he's your brother and you should be worried about him. This should expresses suggestion, okay? It's not an advice, it's a suggestion. It's like, I recommend you to be worried about him because he is your brother. So that is like a recommendation or a suggestion. Juan David Mosquera, what about number 4?
Number 4, can.
Good, can. Can we? Can we? Yes, I am, but you know how independent he is. We can't help him if he doesn't want it. Can we? Well, this can. Well, this is a modal verb, but not in the use that we saw modal verbs, okay? This is more like a tag question, but it works anyway. Can we? It is not asking for permission, but it is a question anyway, so that we can use it. Number 5, Laker Lisandro, did you get next?
Might.
Might. Well, yes, but no. Did someone get this?
Teacher, is must.
Oh, must, yeah, but something is missing. Something must what? Did somebody get this? Nope. Mustn't. That is negative, okay? Carol says, well, I feel guilty. He is family after all. We must not ignore problems in the family. No debemos ignorar los problemas, okay? That's why it is negative, mustn't. And this must expresses like a strong recommendation, okay? Well, it depends. If you want to say that that is like an obligation, well, okay. But to me, it sounds like that is a strong recommendation. What about number 6, Santiago Laker Lisandro? Do you have this? Sorry, Laker Lisandro, number 6. Okay, this is should, okay? No, you don't have to do that, but he should talk about things with other people that he knows, should. So that is like an advice, okay? My advice is that you should talk to others and not just keeping those things alone. Mr. Cortez, what about number 7? Well, if you don't have a microphone, you can use the chat. What about number 7, Mr. Cortez? Nope. May, oh, well, that is might. Might. Yeah. Carol says, of course, you know, if you take George out, he might meet somebody. Good. Bueno, recuerden que aquí tenemos may y might, que son lo mismo, ¿no? May y might. ¿Cuál es la diferencia entre estos dos? El may, como lo escribió en el chat del compañero, that was Mr. Mosquera, ¿ya? Es un poco más informal y se utiliza casi siempre en el inglés hablado. En cambio, este might se utiliza en el inglés escrito, pero significan lo mismo. Y digamos que el might es de un uso más formal. Eso, I always remember something that happened when I was a child and I loved watching The Simpsons. And once Bart Simpson asked Mr. Skinner, "Can I go to the bathroom?" This was very informal because the correct way, let's say the very formal should be, "May I go to the bathroom?" Ambas formas son válidas. Gramaticalmente son correctas, pero en el inglés informal se utiliza el can y en el inglés formal se utilizaría el may. ¿Qué quiere decir eso? Que si usted, por ejemplo, fuera o asistiera o estuviera en una entrevista laboral y usted le estuvieran midiendo su inglés, desde ese tipo de uso se van a dar cuenta qué tipo de inglés tiene usted. Si el inglés informal o el inglés formal. Si usted dice, "Can I go to the bathroom?", le dirán, "Yes, no problem." "May I go to the bathroom?" De inmediato van a decir, ok, esta persona se nota que tiene un nivel elevado de educación. Well, so that's why they use might in this. But anyway, might means possibility, and that is a possibility, you know? The possibility is that George meet somebody because they had like a divorce or something like that. And the last one, can anyone tell me what could be for sentence 8? Did anyone get this?
Can?
Good, can't, negative. He can't meet anybody new in his terrible apartment. Can he? Watching baseball 24 hours a day? Yeah, so that's it, can't. Well, good, excellent. And now let's continue. That was exercise number 1. Let's move on. Exercise number 2. This is Natalie in Tokyo. Okay, complete the text. No, really. So, as you see, we have a 3-paragraph text, you know. We have paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and paragraph 3. And you have to complete these blanks, but you don't have options. It's like, "Teacher, I don't see the options. Where are the options?" Well, this time you won't have any options. You have to pay attention, take notes. Remember that it's very important to take notes to support your memory. And then you will say, okay, I understood this. I'm going to write this. Okay. So let's listen to this and good luck.
Hi guys, today I'm going to tell you about my city. I live in Tokyo in Japan, and in Tokyo there are many people, there's a lot of traffic, but there's not much nature. There's not much crime here. Tokyo is a very safe place to live. Is there much crime where you live? There are many restaurants here, and there are not many cheap restaurants. So most days I go to the supermarket and cook at home. It's really easy to get around in Tokyo because there are so many buses and taxis and trains. I usually take the train because it's fast and it's cheap. There is some bad weather here in Tokyo. Last week we had a big typhoon and it was pretty scary. There are not many rubbish bins here in Tokyo and it's really annoying. I usually take my rubbish home with me and recycle it there. I do love that there are many vending machines here in the city. There's one on every street corner. It's so convenient. I hope that one day you get to visit Tokyo too. There are many wonderful things to see and do. So tell me about where you live.
Okay, let's listen again.
Hi guys, today I'm going to tell you about my city. I live in Tokyo in Japan, and in Tokyo there are many people, there's a lot of traffic, but there's not much nature. There's not much crime here. Tokyo is a very safe place to live. Is there much crime where you live? There are many restaurants here, and there are not many cheap restaurants. So most days I go to the supermarket and cook at home. It's really easy to get around in Tokyo because there are so many buses and taxis and trains. I usually take the train because it's fast and it's cheap. There is some bad weather here in Tokyo. Last week we had a big typhoon and it was pretty scary. There are not many rubbish bins here in Tokyo and it's really annoying. I usually take my rubbish home with me and recycle it there. I do love that there are many vending machines here in the city. There's one on every street corner. It's so convenient. I hope that one day you get to visit Tokyo too. There are many wonderful things to see and do. So tell me about where you live.
Okay, now it is your turn, okay? Sofia Piñeiro, can you hear me? Sofia Piñeiro, can you hear me? Sofia Piñeiro. Okay. Isabela Aguirre, can you hear me?
Yes, teacher.
Well, Isabella, we are going to read the full paragraph, okay? So please read the full paragraph, including the answers, okay? Or the missing words, please.
Okay. Hi guys, today I'm going to tell you about my city. I live in Tokyo in Japan, and in Tokyo there are many people. There is a lot of traffic, but it's much nature. This much crime here. Tokyo is a very safe to live. Is much crime where you live, when you live?
Okay, thank you. Very good. So let's see. Let's see those. Yeah, those words that you missed. Let me. I don't find this word. Yeah. Yeah. So the first two, that was okay. Hi guys. Today I'm going to tell you about my city. I live in Tokyo, in Japan. And in Tokyo, there are many people. ¿Por qué pusieron there are? A ver, ¿quién me dice? ¿Por qué se dice aquí there are?
En plural, el sustantivo.
Good. People is plural in English. Okay, good. There are many people. There is a lot of traffic. Good. Well, yeah, traffic is singular. But
there isn't.
Good. There isn't. O si quieren decir there is not. Bueno, digamos que en el inglés escrito, uno podría escribir there is not. Pero por la economía del lenguaje, cuando estamos hablando en el inglés oral, sí podríamos decir there isn't. But there isn't much nature. And what about this?
There isn't too.
Good. There isn't, yeah. There is not much crime here. There is not much crime here. ¿Por qué there is y no there are?
Because nature is a singular.
No, well, yeah, sure, yeah. Yeah, sure. Nature is singular. We don't say natures. And also in this crime, well, we could say that, but in this context, she says, no hay mucho crimen. In general terms, in Spanish, we would say crímenes, but in English, it's singular, okay? And Tokyo is a very safe place to live.
Is there?
Yes, is there much crime where you live? Natalie is asking you. She is asking you. Juan Camilo, Isabela, Giancarlo, all of you.
Cali is very dangerous.
Yeah. Well, she says, hey, is there much crime in Cali or in Popayan? I don't know, Nariño? Well, good. So start thinking about that. Let's say paragraph number 2. Giancarlo Pasui. Can you hear me, Giancarlo Pasui?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, Mr. Pasui, could you please read aloud paragraph 2?
Of course, teacher. So there are many restaurants here, and there are many cheap restaurants. So most days I go to the supermarket and cook at home. It's really easy to get around the Tokyo because there isn't so many buses and taxis and trains. I usually take the train because it's fast and it's cheap.
Okay, well, yeah, the first one was okay. You know, there are many restaurants here. Restaurants is plural, so that's why we use there are. But I am not sure about this. Could you repeat this, the second?
There are.
Okay. Can anyone tell me a different that you heard, that you listened? Well, in this we have there aren't.
Para la negación.
Well, yeah. So she says, there are many restaurants here and there aren't many cheap restaurants. And you say, but why, teacher? Well, that's why she uses this connector, so, or it means like for that reason, for the reason that there aren't many cheap restaurants, I go to the supermarket and cook at home, yeah? Because many restaurants are expensive restaurants. And what about the number 3? What could be? Because you said there isn't?
No, teacher, there are.
Well, I heard something different. Good, there are. Yeah, so there are many restaurants here and there aren't many cheap restaurants. So most days I go to the supermarket and cook at home. It's really easy to get around in Tokyo because there are so many buses and taxis and trains. Yes, since we have buses and taxis and trains, and those are plural, we use there are. I usually take the train because it is fast and it is cheap. Thank you. And now let's see paragraph number 3. Juan Camilo Urriago, are you ready for paragraph number 3?
I think.
Okay, good.
There is some bad weather here in Tokyo. Last week, we had a big storm and it was pretty scary. There are many rubbish bins here in Tokyo and it's really annoying. I usually take my rubbish home with me and recycling there. They aren't. So I do love that here are many vending machines here in the city. And there is one on every street corner. It is so convenient. I hope that one day you get to visit Tokyo too. And there are many wonderful things to see and to do
Okay, good. Yeah, that was, there is some bad weather here in Tokyo. Last week, we had a big typhoon and it was pretty scary. There are not, aquí dijiste there are, es negativa. There are not many rubbish bins here in Tokyo and it's really annoying. Entonces ella dice, no hay muchos tarros de basura.
Pues, profe, qué pena, pues lo dije con el aren't.
Sorry. Good, yeah, good. So
no
good
separados, sino juntos.
Good, excellent. There aren't. Yeah, there aren't many rubbish. Cuando hacemos el isn't o el aren't, ojalá puedan hacer sonar esa T al final, suena ese sonido que se siente como golpeado fuerte. There aren't many rubbish bins here, yeah, and it's really annoying. I usually take my rubbish home with me and recycle it there. I do love that there are many vending machines here in the city. There is one on every street corner. It is so convenient. I hope that one day you get to visit Tokyo too. There are many wonderful things to see and do. So tell me about where you live. Okay, boys and girls, let's watch this video.
Hi guys, today I'm going to tell you about my city. I live in Tokyo in Japan, and in Tokyo there are many people, there's a lot of traffic, but there's not much nature. There's not much crime here. Tokyo is a very safe place to live. Is there much crime where you live? There are many restaurants here, and there are not many cheap restaurants. So most days I go to the supermarket and cook at home. It's really easy to get around in Tokyo because there are so many buses and taxis and trains. I usually take the train because it's fast and it's cheap. There is some bad weather here in Tokyo. Last week we had a big typhoon and it was pretty scary. There are not many rubbish bins here in Tokyo and it's really annoying. I usually take my rubbish home with me and recycle it there. I do love that there are many vending machines here in the city. There's one on every street corner. It's so convenient. I hope that one day you get to visit Tokyo too. There are many wonderful things to see and do. So tell me about where you live.
Okay, so tell me about where you live. How is that? Scary? Nice? Are there cheap restaurants? What can we find? Well, this question, boys and girls, is important for your oral presentations, okay? For the final exam. Remember that in the final exam, you have to present a local issue, like a situation. It could be positive or it can be negative, or you can describe your place, okay, your neighborhood. Start thinking about this. I live in Cali or I live in a small town. What am I going to say about my place? I have to describe things that I can do in that place, in my hometown, and things that people do not find, you know, using there is, there are, there is not, there are not. Yes, Isabella, do you have a question?
Yes, no me quedó muy claro. The exposition is about local issue or describe my city?
Both, okay? Because let's imagine, Isabella, where do you live?
I live in Hamundi.
Okay, you live here in Hamundi. So imagine that there is a very hard situation in Hamundi that you are going to describe. But before describing that problem, you have to describe Hamundi. You have to say, okay, in Hamundi, there are many restaurants. Most of them are very cheap restaurants. You can find also many supermarkets like Caribe, what is the name? La Gran Colombia, Super Inter, but also you can, there are not vending machines in Hamundi, for example. There are not vending machines. There are only like 5 or 6 churches, Catholic churches. There is a main public transportation, the Transur system. Well, you can say many things before talking about the problem that you are going to talk about, okay? I think that maybe next week, let me I see, that was a good question. I think that I have it at hand. Just give me 1 minute because I want to show you this. Anyway, I'm going to share this in maybe next week. Those are the guidelines. Yeah, that's English too. English 2, yeah, this is it. Let me I show you the what? Come on. Yeah, I found it. So these are the guidelines, okay? Esta es la tarea. Así como hicimos con la unidad 1, con el examen parcial, también les voy a compartir este en el Classroom próximamente. Y miren lo que dice, local issues and possible solutions. So you have to start thinking about a problem that you have in your hometown and solutions that you offer from your field of education. But of course, you have to, well, describe the place, you know, like this. Yeah. Determine the most outstanding features in the place chosen, like factual information, landmarks, landscapes, history, weather. Why is it famous or meaningful for activities to do and see in that place? So if you are going to talk about Hamundi, well, you should talk about a history of Hamundi, the weather, why is famous, why is Hamundi famous, maybe not only cholados, but well, we have violence too. Well, there is too much crime here in Hamundi, especially with the drug dealers and, you know, trafficking, etc. And then it says, give a short location reference to get there, okay? So that is like you have to describe, but only in a very easy exercise like this one that we have already in this material, you know, you can describe like in 1 or 2 paragraphs. It shouldn't take that long. Okay, well, boys and girls, as I was saying, this is very important to start thinking about this. Tell me about where you live. This is a very interesting question. Oh yeah, you should, Santiago. It's not like, can I, teacher? No, you have to talk about your neighborhood, okay? Imagine that you live in Cali. So Cali is bigger than Hamundi. So you, well, if you want to talk about a problem that is general in Cali, no problem, you can do it. But if you want to talk a specific situation in your neighborhood, you can do it, okay? The thing is that you should describe your place. Let me see, because I think, yeah. We have a last listening exercise. This is, well, no, yeah. Let's do this, match the sentences. I'm going to give you 1 minute, okay? 1 minute to do this. You have to match the sentences. So we have sentences in this column, yeah? And you need to complete them by using sentences from this column. So I'm going to give you 1 minute for you to start thinking what could be the sentence that better matches the other one. Okay, are you ready? Juan David Mosquera. What do you think of this, May?
Teacher, no. I don't understand this.
And why didn't you ask? Remember that if you have any questions, you should ask the teacher, because, well, we already had like 5 minutes to complete this. Well, can anyone tell me? Yeah.
Yes,
May?
teacher.
Yeah.
This one with the 3 sentences in the other column.
Number 3. Okay, good. Yeah, may I see the letter? Okay, good. Recuerden que may se puede hacer para preguntar o pedir o dar permiso, como can también sirve. Good. ¿Cuál creen que podría ir con la siguiente? She.
She can play the piano as well as singing.
Okay, good. She can play the piano as well as singing. Yeah, excellent. Miren que aquí utilizamos el modal can para hablar de una habilidad general. Una habilidad general. Yo, por ejemplo, les puedo preguntar a ustedes, Can you swim? Can you swim? Y algunos, la mayoría va a decir, yes, teacher, yes, I can. Porque es una habilidad. Pero el profesor les diría, no, I can't. Porque yo no sé nadar. Lo que pasa es que en el español, ese tipo de acciones la manejamos como el verbo saber. Claro, nosotros acá en español el verbo saber lo manejamos en el contexto de lo cognitivo. ¿Usted sabe inglés? Sí, es algo cognitivo. Usted no va a decir que usted habla inglés porque le crecieron las uñas o porque salió a trotar. No. Entonces es un proceso de lo cognitivo. Usted dice, yo sé manejar motocicleta. Es un proceso cognitivo. No todo el mundo sabe la diferencia entre manejar y conducir. Pero si usted me dice, ¿sabe nadar? ¿Acaso nadar responde a una cuestión cognitiva? No, usted puede entender todos los conceptos, pero a mí me tiran a una piscina y me ahogo. Entonces, pero en el inglés no. En el inglés el verbo can nos va a indicar una habilidad general, como en el caso de can play the piano. No todo el mundo sabe tocar el piano. No todo el mundo sabe nadar. Okay, so it means not only with this cognitive, but also physical ability. Okay, and what about the third one? When I was younger, I had a computer.
I could design applications and programs.
Okay, well, yeah. Yes, I could design applications and programs. Ahí tenemos el could, ¿no? Este could nos indica una habilidad que esta persona tenía en el pasado. No quiere decir que hoy no la tenga. ¿Ok? Solamente nos dice algo que él tenía en el pasado. Ok, employees must wear helmets, gloves, and boots.
Before entering the building.
Okay, good. Before entering the building. Ok. Aquí tenemos el verbo modal must, ¿no? Que nos indica una obligación. En este caso. Usted no, uy, no, profe, es que eso es una strong recommendation. No, ahí no sería una recomendación. Porque si usted va como arquitecto, como ingeniero a una obra y no utiliza el casco o los implementos, no le permiten el ingreso. Entonces es una obligación. Good. Must. The next, they must practice English.
They need to think about the future.
Okay, good. They need to think about their future. Tenemos aquí, miren que aquí tenemos el must como en la oración anterior, pero no tienen el mismo significado. Mientras en la oración anterior era una obligación, aquí es una strong recommendation. Una recomendación. Okay. If you don't want to get sick,
You
You
shouldn't
shouldn't.
smoke so much.
good, you shouldn't smoke so much. Shouldn't is an advice or is a recommendation. Well, I think that should is not difficult to identify. And the last one I think is, I have an exam at the university. I have to study late tonight. Este have es el que les digo que tiene un peso mayor que el uso del must. El must es una obligación, pero este have tiene un peso mayor. Claro, si ustedes quieren utilizan must o have. Aquí podría decir, I have an exam at the university. I might study late tonight. Sorry, I must study late tonight. But have has a harder meaning in that. Well, boys and girls, I think that we are about to finish. We didn't finish this material. I hope that you do it by yourselves. Remember that you are expected to complete this study material. I am not going to grade this, but I'm very sure that this will be really useful for your oral presentations for the final exam. So my recommendation is that you complete all of these materials by your own. And of course, we also have study material 8. This is useful too, because in this material, you can find some recommendations about writing a 3-paragraph text: introduction, body paragraph, and closure. Well, I try to give you some materials for the writing part for the final exam, okay? So, but it depends on you to practice. Well, I think that is a good part of the process, that at least you are attending this online lesson. Oh, well, these were the options. Come on, I forgot to have this, but it's okay. We already have this this study material. Any questions before we leave?
I have a question about my qualification.
What do you want?
I
yeah.
have a question about la calificación del examen anterior, para saber bien cuál fue.
What activity? Do you remember the activity?
La presentación, la exposición de nuestro aspecto personal y lo que haríamos a futuro en 10 años.
Ah, el examen parcial.
Correcto.
Oh, my goodness. Bueno, pues digamos que este pues no es el espacio y nos va a acabar la hora. Lo que sí podríamos hacer es, tú me escribes y miramos un espacio de 10 minutos para mirar pues la duda que tengas. Lo que pasa es que yo suelo atender ese tipo de inquietudes a la semana siguiente que sucede el examen. Imagínate, hoy ya siempre ha pasado bastante tiempo. No recuerdo que me hayas escrito un correo solicitándome un espacio para...
No, profe, es solo para saber la nota. Solo por eso. No para...
Ah, pero la nota... Ay, ¿será que se me olvidó publicarla? Espérame a ver. ¿Dónde estoy? Ya voy para allá. Bueno, quedan minutitos. Vamos a ver si alcanzamos. Ah, pero yo no les publiqué la nota del examen, sí. Well, just give me 1 second or maybe more than that. Yo les publiqué las notas, ¿no? Del examen el 28 de enero, hace 11 días. Allí, también recuerden que ustedes en el campus virtual, ¿tú recuerdas tu nota del examen? Bueno, sí.
Era
Digamos-
hasta 35 puntos, ¿no? Fueron 27.
Eso, digamos, un ejemplo. Digamos que un estudiante se sacó 4.2 y si tú te ibas al examen de acá y mirabas tu nota y digamos que te sacaste 22 en la sección escrita, pues por descarte quiere decir que te sacaste 20 puntos en la tarea oral. Lo que no es que no quiere abrir aquí, no sé si sea...
Sino que mi nota aparece con un 1, entonces no sé por qué.
La mía también.
¿Cuál nota les aparece con 1?
La nota final del examen parcial.
Oh, really?
Sí.
Oh, entonces voy a mirar más bien mi planilla. Claro, vamos a ver qué pasó allí. De todas formas, bueno, si no nos alcanza el tiempo, ustedes me pueden escribir y lo miraríamos entonces por el correo si no me alcanza el tiempo. Creo que esta es.
En mi caso, profe, yo hice el opcional, pero igual la nota
Pero les aparece en 1. Esta
Sí.
es la lista, esta es la lista de inglés 2, ¿no? Pero, bueno, aquí hay un estudiante, Angie Garcés. Angie Melissa Garcés, pero tú no presentaste la tarea oral.
No, o sea, en el parcial hice solo el texto, el oral no porque me había COVID, ¿se acuerda? Pero en el opcional tengo entendido que solamente